Hello, Jenny Hall here for Ink on 3. Today I have a really cool eclectic card to share with you. I'm going to be using Triple Roses stamp set, Squiggles stencil, and some Fadeout ink, all from Ink on 3. I've already stamped it on a watercolor paper, and then I'm going to use in my palette some Atelier Ink Refills. I keep these refills in my palette all the time, and if one color gets low, I just squeeze some more in, and it works perfectly. This is the watercolor palette that I tend to go to nowadays. With the Fadeout ink already stamped onto this watercolor paper, then all I need to do is use my water brush and drizzle color right onto the paper. Now, if you have never used Fadeout ink, then what makes it unique is that once the color is applied, the lines that are stamped with the ink turn the color of the ink that you've added, and then you don't see the very light gray anymore. You see a nice vibrant line of color. So this is really good to give you a no-line coloring look, or you can use the effect of the Fadeout ink to give you some special effects. And that's what we're going to do today, is special effects. So looks like here that I'm creating a rainbow, and you are right. We're making a rainbow in the most simple and efficient way, by just scribbling on color and then letting the colors fade together. I'm not staying inside the line. I'm not trying to be precise. Just adding some rainbow is going to work. And then once we give it a nice squirt of water, then those colors are going to start mixing even more, which is perfect. We want the pink and red to fade into the orange, to the yellow, and therefore. So it's just a super easy method. So once I've got this nice and dry, I've added a little bit of heat from my heat tool, then I'm going to fussy cut this image out. Now, I had the idea of roses that were dripping color from Alice in Wonderland. If you'll recall that the queen ordered all the roses to be colored with, like painted a different color. And I just kind of can't get that out of my mind. So I needed to make something that had roses dripping with color as if they had been painted. And what better to paint than a rainbow? So what we're going to do is we're just picking up some of that ink refill and squeezing the barrel of the water brush, and that helps dilute it and just make this cool little drip come through. I'm trying to make sure that I get each color have its own drip line, as if a paintbrush has just slapped the color on willy-nilly onto the rose bush and made some unnatural Wonderland rainbow roses. So I'm going to dry this a little bit with my heat tool, and now we're going to move on to the background. So I have a piece of 80-pound Neenah cardstock, and I'm using the yellow ink. This is the yellow Atelier ink from Ink on 3, and I'm not being careful to add color. I just want it to be in big yellow splotches. The yellow is what's going to show through as the lines on the stencil. So now I'm using the black Atelier ink, which is called Paint It Black. And you can see here that I kind of got a little crazy with my stencil. I didn't secure it down in place with some tape underneath it. Instead, I let it move, which I figured I'm just going to use to my advantage anyways, because I want this to look like it's electric, like a neon electric background. So I've got the black that is supposed to be the actual background, and then we've got this electric yellow neon line that's running through it. And it's okay if it's fuzzy in places, it's not a problem. So I'm going to adhere this to a die cut rectangle, and then I'm going to adhere both of those pieces together in a unit down to the front of the card. And this is going to give me a really nice backdrop for those crazy rainbow, really pretty roses. So you guys may be used to me doing a little bit more clean and simple, but sometimes I just really want to like go crazy with it and see what I can make and see how, like, what effects I can get out of different techniques. And maybe I'm going to be giving this card to somebody who likes to have that really eclectic look. So I couldn't stop and resist from using the liquid pixie dust from Ink on 3. If you've used it before, you know that this is the absolute most shimmer that is out there. I absolutely love it. It's the most shimmer that I have ever used. And so I'm using just a regular paintbrush to do some splatters. And then I thought to myself, maybe I should add a few drips like I did of the paint on the roses. So once I've got a good amount of splatter on there, then I just kind of got a little bit more and added another drip. Why not? So now we've got the little bit more of that effect. And so the paint that's dripping from the roses also has that really beautiful pixie dust glimmer to it. I hope that you have enjoyed this and will use some of these techniques today, and we will see you soon.